And it's when they're playing single safety middle defenses, whether it's man or matchup zone. And here you see they're going to run some switch concepts, the Packers are, against the flat defender to really test whether or not he knows what is going on as far as the route development. And you see it here. They're turning people loose. The corner, Xavier Rhodes, on the outside isn't playing with good vision, can't help out. And that's a problem. Here you got three tight ends to the bottom of the screen, and you got Robert Woods at the top of the screen against Anthony Barr. And here you look, where is the free safety here? Why are you not shading the top of the screen where you have speed on a linebacker? And these are the kind of things that you're seeing show up over and over again. It's not because they don't have the players, because the players aren't playing very smart, and they play a lot of very basic coverages, and teams know how to attack these things now, and they're not adjusting. Seattle went through the same type of thing, Rex, we talked about it. Teams that like to play a lot of single safety high is either cover 3 or it's cover 1. It's either man or zone or matchup zone, and teams now know how to attack that stuff. And if you aren't on it as far as what your pattern matches are, this is what happens. Teams attack you right down the field with verticals, and you give up big plays. And they're one of the worst teams in the NFL defending the deep ball.
Which is shocking from a Mike Zimmer defense, because as you said, when he was brought in, that was the sell, as this guy was going to turn around their defense, which we've seen in the last few years. But Rex, I also want to know from you, because when you look at this Philly team and the concerns that they're having starting off early this year, is it time to, I'm not saying you would ever panic, but is it time to get nervous about what this season's going to end up like, especially because Carson Wentz doesn't yet look like who he was, which of course is to be assumed after coming off of that injury?
I think the biggest concern is with their defense. And the only time this defense plays well, it seems like, is when they play at home. You know, they become, braver at home. And it's statistically, it's night and day different. But why they can't bring that same intensity on the road is beyond me. So that would be a concern that I would have if I was an Eagle, fan or whatever. But, they're playing at home today, and watch the difference. They'll bring pressure. The communication seems to be better for whatever reason. And it's just something they got to get by, because they don't have the best record in football. They're not getting back to the Super Bowl.
And the difference last year when these two teams met, guys were open, just like you're showing.
Yeah.
But that pass rush was real. You saw sack fumbles, you saw sacks, you saw a quarterback getting ready to throw a touchdown pass, and yet it's a turnover going the other way. And so that's the difference. That's the cure for bad pass coverage in the back end, is just getting home with 4.
And they still have the horses up front. Now, those guys still, can bring it.
Yeah, I think it's assumed that Carson will start to hit his stride and the offense will open up. But I'll tell you this, right now, through the first month of the season, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL at producing explosive plays. They're not getting the ball down the field. Alshon Jeffrey, so much is riding on him to be able to stretch the third level of the field here. Because right now, a lot of the stuff is short. Teams are kind of coming up on them now and not really expecting their ability to get deep. And last year they got deep whenever they wanted to, especially against this team. That's why it's a great matchup, because the Eagles need it in terms of getting the ball over the top, and the Vikings got to find a way to stop it. So something's got to give in this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and find a way, of course, without Everson Griffin, a guy that made such a huge impact on their defense. I know Adam and more, you guys have more on this Vikings defense and Everson Griffin's status.
That's exactly right, Sam. Everson Griffin's going to miss another game today as he stays away for his mental health and his well-being. Now, one person said that he's not expected to return to the Vikings, quote-unquote, anytime soon. Another person said that Griffin, quote-unquote, could be back next week or could never play again. You just don't know when it comes to mental health. It's not like this is a hamstring injury where doctors have seen it before and know that it heals in 2 to 4 weeks. This is something that's unpredictable, and right now the Vikings don't know when they'll get back their 30-year-old, 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end.
And despite their lofty expectations, especially on defense, Griffin's absence is huge. And then you take into this fact, Mike Zimmer, the head coach, is also the defensive coordinator. He's been concerned for a few weeks about their lack of depth. They've had to sign a lot of guys to big contracts. Then they lost 39-year-old Terrence Newman. And we all wondered, why was Terrence Newman still playing at 39? And he was doing so much as a nickel corner, which is a place where you need veterans, you need that communication, and you need him to help coordinate back there, because they are thin in that secondary right now. And Terrence Newman is not playing nickel anymore, but he is their nickel cornerback coach. He actually coaches the cornerback. So getting that communication down back there, obviously being thin up front, Anthony Barr having to cover some. Today, I think it's the Anthony Barr with his hand down.
So there you go, Sam. No Griffin, no depth, no Newman. A lot of problems right now for the Vikings defense, Sam.
lot of problems. All right, thanks, guys. Coming up on Countdown, some young stars in the league face off today. Deshaun Watson against Dak Prescott. Louis Riddick will break down the Texas Showdown. Plus, you may have heard it this week, Jalen Ramsey sounding off on Tyreek Hill, but Rex Ryan is going to tell you the game plan for the Jags D today, or at least Rex, what it should be, I think. Plus, Jared Goff playing with some serious confidence in LA today, and he's got a lot of reason to feel good.
Were we planning to be bad? People say we surprised for 4-0. No, I mean, we wanted to win every game we played.
All right, and can you name that QB? Oh, he's so cute, though.
Like golf?
You're making guesses back here?
I'm
He's
calling
a
golf.
hooper.
I'm calling golf.
Stay tuned. We're going to tell you when we come back on
That's a tough one.
Countdown.
Who was it, Rex?
Then I'm terrible.
We saved hundreds on our car insurance when we switched to Geico. This is how it made me feel. It was like that feeling when you're mowing the lawn on a sunny day, and without even trying, you end up with one last strip that's exactly the width of your mower. When you're done, it looks so good you post a picture on social media. And it gets 127 likes.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The gods have spoken. Greece is doomed. You will fail. Whoever you choose to become. However you choose to fight. Wherever you choose to go, you will fail.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Available now. Rated M for mature.
Spencer James, Billy Baker, varsity coach, Beverly High. I need you to come play for me.
You can make something in your life beyond just football.
Football is my dream. I want a life better than the one I've been living.
I'm asking you to play for something bigger than that.
Because when you do, you'll be unstoppable.
Hello?
Christian, it's JB.
Hey, how's it going?
When you score a touchdown this season, you become a Panther.
Got it.
Put them claws up. You will leap with your powerful hind legs onto the goalpost. You will perch on that goalpost. Your tail will go back and forth like the ocean. It's going to be very hard to get down because he has nothing to grab onto. So you got to wait till the end of the game. The fire department come and get you down.
You think you got all this on lock? It's not the future. It's a monument to the dead. You're not saving the world. You're just getting it ready for me.
Glad to have you with us on College Game Day, built by the Home Depot.
I'm really feeling this vibe right now. I love this.
Look at that crowd. Look at that
Great crowd.
This is awesome.
No room for error. 2 down, basically.
Nice catch, my man.
Let's go, Bills.
Let's see how the Jones family likes their AT&T internet.
AT&T said they offered 50 megs. We only get 18 megs where we live. That is not enough.
Gary games, Sarah streams, and my husband downloads music. I end up buffering.
Gary, get off the internet!
Spectrum Internet starts at 100 megabits per second, twice as fast as the 50 megabits per second speed AT&T advertises.
AT&T internet lag is literally killing me today.
Forget AT&T Internet. Choose Spectrum.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
you do it? Can you name that QB, guys?
I'm struggling.
I'm gonna say Josh Rosen. Who
right.
y'all got? Somebody say something.
I'm going with golf, man. I'm
There you go.
Rex?
I'm no worse at this.
Drew Brees?
Well,
Not
there
Drew
you
Brees.
go.
Not Drew
That
Brees.
is
It kind of looks like Drew
Drew
Brees' kid. Dang.
I mean, so now you should have known. You
Rex thought this
shoulda
was
known.
current
Man,
picture.
y'all-
CJ Beathard.
They
actually.
CJ Beathard, like I said,
Yeah, we was off.
I couldn't tell you what he looked like right now.
Drew Brees needs to throw for 201 yards on Monday Night Football to break Peyton Manning's record for the most passing yards in NFL history. Brees is currently just behind Manning and Brett Favre on the all-time list.
A lot of yards.
And our Jason Witten sat down with the Saints QB ahead of tomorrow night's game against the Redskins.
What do you think that moment's going to feel like for you when it happens? Where's your mind going to go? Because you're an emotional guy. You play that way. That's how you carry yourself.
I've tried to get all the emotions out so that if and when it does happen, then I'm able to handle that moment. But I think you go from excitement to reflection and then just gratitude. I mean, there are so many people that are responsible for this. And I want them to know how much they are responsible for that. And it's hard to reach out to each and every single one of them, but I just hope they all know where my heart is, and it's with them. I want my team to know that. I want my family to know that. So, man, yeah, it's going to be something.
That's just a tease. You can hear the full conversation on Countdown before Monday Night Football. Saints-Redskins countdown starts at 6 Eastern. Time now to go to Adam for his top stories of the day. Adam?
Thanks, Sam. Back here with Chris Mortensen as we continue to run through news and notes from around the league. More rain in the forecast in Kansas City today. Could it impact Patrick Mahomes?
Now, listen, we haven't put him in Canton despite allegations from some of our friends that we have. But what hasn't Patrick Mahomes proved to us? He hasn't proved that he can play in that inclement, rainy weather. Now, he's only had 5 games. He hasn't had the opportunity to do that. But his hand size was one of the issues for those inclement weather teams that were evaluating coming out of the draft. And there's the forecast, certainly, for the game today for the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes is a guy that, hey, he doesn't play under center much, though. He only had 4 snaps under center at Texas Tech. He's only had 40-some snaps under center this year, and very few of them are run plays where you have most trouble.
And Mort, here's the weather chart for today in Kansas City. Not to go all double Doppler on you, but you can see storms moving in, a front coming in, and that's going to impact the Chiefs-Jaguars game today as we get a matchup of the league's top-rated offense and the top-rated defense. Also, we have today Brandon Cooks and the Los Angeles Rams. He's developed quite a rapport here with Jared Goff. The trust level between those two has worked out very well. Cooks has become a major deep threat. He's on pace for 1,800 receiving yards. His deep routes have opened up lanes for shorter patterns for Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. He's become a tremendous intermediate route runner for the Rams and a big factor why the Rams right now possess the great offense that they do.
Let's stay with the surging Ravens. There's Alex Collins. He lost 2 fumbles last week. John Harbaugh, the coach, said, hey, it's still his job, but the basic message is you better not fumble anymore. Now, he didn't go around carrying the football around the building all week, but every time he walked around and he saw a coach would say, high and tight, carry the ball, high and tight, high and tight. So Buck Allen is on a full service time back. If he fumbles again, there's problems there. And then it's time for Hayden Hurst, the rookie from South Carolina, first-round pick, who was the star of preseason, returns to the Ravens today. And Joe Flacco has always loved his tight ends.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the guy that they believe is going to be a Pro Bowl player. They like Mark Andrews, another rookie. They could have multiple tight ends, 3 or 4 tight end sets to help out with Myles Garrett on the Browns is going against the Ravens former number 1 pick, Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. So healthy respect, certainly for Myles Garrett. Multiple tight end sets, but also give him some creativity. In the meantime, Joe Flacco hasn't forgotten John Brown is available downfield.
And Hurst is expected to start today, Sam.
All right, good to know. Thanks, guys. A lot going on in the Lone Star State this weekend. First, Red River. Now Cowboys, Texans. Zeke Elliott has a 38-yard touchdown catch in the Cowboys win last week against the Lions, and when he finds the end zone, Dallas usually wins. The Cowboys are 15-3 when Elliott scores a touchdown over the last 3 seasons, but just 6-6, including the playoffs, when he doesn't have a TD. Louis, this isn't breaking news.